Welcome to XNC Podcast. I am your host, Colteastwood, and I am joined together here with an esteemed panel of great friends, amazing content creators, and great personalities in the YouTube and social media and gaming culture. Say hi, everybody. Wave, you're on camera, you're live, and welcome to the show.
Camera, ooh, Colt, I'm loving this, baby.
Mommy, Daddy, I made it! I made it!
I think we talked about this when we was in Cali.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a big moment. It's big E3 time. We've got tons of stuff to talk about. We're going to start off with some light but spicy, as my man Miles to say, some spicy topics. We'll talk about what's kind of leading up to E3, and then we're going to get into the whole mess. But before we do that, I want to get around and do some business here. This is a Colt Eastwood channel, and if you're watching live, you're on Colt Eastwood on YouTube, and if you're listening after the fact, that's because we're on podcast platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Podcasts, and some other places. So thank you for that. We go live every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific or 8 p.m. Eastern. And let me figure out everything else I need to say. If you're on the other side of the world, you're probably not listening this late. We got Gaz here who's actually doing the show at 1 a.m. Bless his heart. He's amazing. But we are here. We're ready to talk about gaming. We'll start off with a quick super chat from Mr. Gianna Dark, who says, I just want to say, sauce! Hello, gentlemen. Excited for tonight's show. As always, a pleasure to listen to you all. So let's get to know our panel. I'll introduce them really quick because we've got Miles Dompier of Windows Central. Let's start with you. We'll also say that we've got King David from Iron Lords and Gaz from Game On Daily. Let's start with Miles Dompier, who's become a really good new friend for me. And tell us, Miles, where you come from, where you hatched, why you're here.
Well, what is going on, everyone? Yeah, as Colt said, my name is Miles Dompier. You can find most of my video content over on Windows Central Gaming. I'm kind of the, I guess, the cute little face over there. You might know Jez Corden, but we've been working to build up our video channel. So that's been my main focus there. I've had the pleasure of having the legendary Colt Eastwood on my podcast, Xbox Chatterdays, as well. And yeah, for the longest time, I was kind of outside of the community, just watching people like Rand, watching people like Colt. And then Jez Corden recruited me, and I got sucked into this ecosystem in this world. So I've met awesome people like King David, Gaz, the Sauce King over here. So it's going to be a good show, and I'm excited to talk about Xbox just doing what they need to do right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Miles, what's been your claim to fame? Like, you've been active on and growing on Twitter. You've been creating content and videos. Like, you've been doing this real great on-camera stuff, high production value stuff. Like, what's your claim to fame? What are you most proud of since you've started this venture?
Okay, claim to fame, a little hidden gem. It's a sleeper hit called Gamer ASMR over on the Windows Central Gaming channel. Yeah. Oh, it's a saucy little ditty, but no, in actuality, I'm pretty surprised and stoked by all the support that I've gotten from people in the community because, yeah, I'm just someone who likes to talk about Xbox, passionate about Xbox, and yeah, just stoked to build up the Windows Central Gaming channel and have people want to listen to me talk about Xbox, which is weird, honestly.
Awesome. So. That's Miles Dompier, everybody. He's amazing. Faziel Eshon says, great panel as always, Colt. Looking forward to Miles' measured and thoughtful answers. That's true. And King cracking me up, and Gaz with the sauce. He's become famous. Also, Kung Fu Hot Dog says, "Hey Colt, Forza Horizon 5 was the best thing this E3." Ooh, I would almost have to agree. I'm a big fan. Also, were you born with those vocals? Actually, you know, I do a lot of speaking, but I've also been a lead singer a few times. We'll get into that in a little bit. Miles is a guitar player. We've got like this musical pass that needs to come to fruition. Maybe we'll collab. And Spriggan, my man Dante says, "Here to support my homie Cole and a fire panel. Shout out to King, David, Miles, and Gaz. Gaz, the latest sauce was classic." Gaz, we're going to get into that in a second, but I got to move over to my true friend, King David. Met him at E3 2019.
Yes.
Look at him. Look at him. He's walking fame. King David, tell us, King David of Iron Lords, tell us what you are and what you do.
Okay, well, I'm from Iron Lords Podcast. That's Lord Attic, Lord Cognito, Lord Sovereign, and myself. Weekly Sundays at 1 p.m. We have guests on, or we talk consoles, games. I myself do statues, do combat talk. We also have our internet site, which is lordsofgaming.net, where we have a host of all types of suites and things for you to go check out about video games and such. This stuff is our passion. You know, we've been doing this for so long, going to these shows and meeting different people, different personalities, regular people. And when I say regular people, I'm talking about day-to-day gamers that really don't want their face on camera, but but do want to be heard, that do, you know, game with you. Yeah, those people, right? Yeah, Cole. When I saw you, I remember, I'm never gonna forget this. I was online, and actually I had buzzed the line first. I drove past the line, got the crowd riled up, went parked the car, came back, and I was handing out cards and stuff like that. Yeah, and I'm like, damn, that's Colt. I said, he looks just like his damn avatar. I'm like, yo, Colt, why your face isn't out? Stop using your avatar. You look just like your avatar. The hell with the avatar. Throw the avatar in the bushes and let's get this face out here. And we took a picture. We could have hung out more. It was just so much stuff for him to do and for us to see. And I think he had a fantastic time. We tried to show him, you know, all the stuff that was going around with FanFest and stuff like that, getting to know Greenie and all the Microsoft personalities in the background, and actually getting the ins and outs of you know, what's going on in California, places to be, stuff to see, stuff to touch, and and different experiences. But hanging out with the guys that have the same passion that we do, that is immeasurable. And, you know, that's lifelong memories that we will have for a long time until we're gone. Yes. But, I mean, I had such a great time with him. Pause. But we had so much fun, and we're missing out this year. But hopefully next year, everything will be back in place, and we'll be right back there, greater than ever.
Okay. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. I can't wait. Yeah, meeting you and all... You're like 9 feet tall. I remember I got pictures next to you. I tried to put my arm around your shoulder, and you're holding me up. So yeah, King's the real deal. Guy never stops smiling. Like this community loves gaming. We get a super sticker from Snagglepuss, $3 one, and it's heavens to Murgatroyd. I think that's the character's voice, right? Yeah. That's awesome. And Nordic Black says super hot fire panel. King, bring that heat, baby. And
I got that. Yeah.
We saved the best for last. Oh, these guys are all the best, but Gaz, he's had a great day. Gaz, tell us who you are, what you do, what's your claim to fame. Let's hear it. Gaz from Game On Daily.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm the co-founder of GameOnDaily.com, which is a news aggregation platform created for content creators. So if you're a budding journalist or YouTuber or content creator, you want to get out in the space, build this platform for you. Me and my good buddy and business partner, Asa Walker, who is... So me and him are like Jekyll and Hyde. You can imagine which one I am. Yeah, really, we are.
One's crazy and one's sensible. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know which one it is.
That's the thing, right? Appearances can be deceiving. I'm the source boss, the proprietor of the source. And yeah, I'm just grateful to be part of this panel, part of this amazing community that has taken us on board so well. And we want to, well, you've seen the Source videos. It's a nicer comedic take on the weaponized console warring, just to make fun of it. A little bit of parody. Just, you can't avoid the console wars. Why not just get Sim in the Source? Yeah.
Well, Gaz, give the audience a quick teaser for those that didn't check out your Sauce video today. Gaz does these videos where he's like super hyped. He's got the music pumping, and he talks about the hot topics for that week. So give them a little teaser of what you put at the beginning of your Sauce video today, so they can go check it out after the show.
Well, I'm a bit worried because I think the Xbox guys do watch your videos, but what I did was I did a little bit of face jacking and replaced. If you watched Mission Impossible 2, I replaced the bad guy's face with Shuei Yoshida and Tom Cruise's face with Phil Spencer.
Oh my god!
Well, the rest is just watch it. It's not so bad, Phil. I love you, Phil. But yeah, please don't copyright strike us. But yeah, no, it's all fun and games until someone gets shot, which was exactly what happens in this video. But
oh my god!
Yeah.
So yes, please go check it out. Game On Daily is the channel. Iron Lords Podcast are on YouTube. They do a huge show. King David won't sit here and brag, but they've got on developers and industry leaders on the weekly on their show. And Miles is doing some great high production value stuff that has really been catching media attention and on their site and growing the channel. So these guys are a big deal. So we got Hargeet Chani who says Gaz and King Sauce. Shout out to Miles as well. So obviously the audience here, we've got a little over 600 people watching who are excited to hear what we have to say about E3, but there are a couple of topics that we want to roll into. We've got the new Xbox box art. Okay. Have you guys heard about this? It's like a kind of a sneaky little new news item. Let's start with Miles. Did you hear about this?
Yes. Jez and a few folks from our team started dropping this in our work Slack earlier today. The leaked new box art for Xbox games. I saw Forza, Halo, and one other game showcasing like how they're differentiating Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and all these different versions with the new box art. So I've seen it. I don't necessarily like it personally. I don't know what your take is, Colt, but I gotta say, if you've seen it, there's this pretty ugly white box in the top left that just sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, it's not nice, but I literally haven't bought a physical disc since Evolve on Xbox One. So at the end of the day, I don't care too much, but yeah, I did see that making the rounds.
King Dave, do you buy your games physical or digital? What's your choice?
Okay, well, I just looked at the box art, and it's not as atrocious as Miles just made it out to be. It's box art, okay? So it's gone from the days of when you had your sister drawing a picture and putting it up for Capcom, and, they're using that for the actual game box art. So, no, it's box art. I buy my games digitally on the Microsoft platform, on PlayStation platform. I don't trust them, so I buy my stuff on a hard copy. And the same thing with Nintendo. So, I'm a multi-console dude, but I game on Xbox mainly and preferably because I like the ecosystem. I feel it's a little bit safer environment as far as I like the practices. If I don't like a game and I purchase the game, I can call them back and be like, yo, listen, this game just didn't hit right, pause. And, they give me back my bread, and I'm happy with that. But I haven't really purchased games seriously, honestly, to be real with you, because I've been in Game Pass since its inception. And if I do actually purchase a game, it's because it's leaving Game Pass. I get the discount, and either I didn't finish it or I loved it so much that I did purchase it. Or if we do, and Colt alluded to it, we do have a developer on, and I do break bread with this developer. I like to show my support by purchasing that game and making them know that I really appreciate them. And the only way for you to really appreciate these developers is to go out and patron their wares. So my stuff is digital. I don't really care about the box art. It wasn't really atrocious, like I said. It was just it's different. We're moving to a different generation, and you need those notations to show, okay, this was 360, this was the Xbox One era, and this is the Series S and Series X era going forward. So we need those.
Yeah, it's weird that they waited until now to do this, but I think they're trying to let people know that there's going to be 3 different consoles to play it on: Series S, X, and then Xbox One. They should make that trapezoid go all the way down so they can just add everything.
But you know what? I think it is more that's crazy. I really honestly believe that they're showing the separation now. Because we're behind because of COVID. We're behind because of this pandemic. So I think now they're actually rolling out. If you didn't see what Forza 5 looked like, that stuff looks next gen, even though it's on the existing engine. It looks completely next gen, and you have other products that will be using just X and Series S going forward. So I think those notations are necessary. So when the consumer goes into the store and they still buy physical, they know, okay, okay, this is Xbox 360. Okay, this, I can actually play this on my Xbox One. Oh, okay, this is for my Series S. So I think that is necessary going forward for the consumers that still go to Walmart and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's touch on the cross-generation thing since you talked about that. Let me find this item here. I think I got it. Okay, I want to take Gaz to this one. Let me hit this this message here. Brigadier's Blue, who's a great supporter of the channel, says, "Hey King, Phil out here not bending knees but taking them outright. You ain't gonna bend, so we just gonna take them from you."
It was terrible.
People getting messy. So let's talk about this cross-generation thing, because right now we're getting ready to. Games going to start coming in. PlayStation's already put out a handful of great games for the PS5 only. Xbox has some plans. So there was this little graphic that I shared around that I got shared. I made one of those mistakes where the first thing in the morning somebody shared something with me and I sent out a tweet. And then when I went back to sleep, when I woke up, I'm like, oh, my phone was like, big mess. So there's this list that says the next generation lineup for Xbox has Hellblade, Starfield, Outer Worlds, State of Decay, Avowed, Fable, Perfect Dark, Redfall, Contraband, Forza, Motorsport 8. Those games are all planned to be next generation only, won't release on the Xbox One. And then for the PlayStation, the lineup is Ratchet & Clank, Returnal, Destruction, Astro's Playroom, and Demon's Souls. So this really upset PlayStation fans because their list of games that are next gen only are out. There aren't any planned games to come to the PS5 that have been announced that are next gen only. All their biggest games are cross gen. So I'm going to go to Gaz on this because Gaz and I usually agree on things, but he has a different opinion. Gaz, take us through this cross generation, next generation chaos.
Well, the chaos on Sony's side was a bit self-inflicted because this whole thing came about from Sony just telling you a bald-faced lie, knowing full well that its strategy was completely contrary to what it was actually saying. This whole "I believe in generations." So that was the motto. That was its manifesto, or so it seemed. And then a lot of fans latched onto it. In fact, and if you ever watched our shows back in the day when we were tiny, I was supporting Sony because I said, I like this approach. I like this approach.
You've been old.
No, but I like their principle that they believed in generations. Because I don't like this whole cross-gen thing. I don't like being eased in. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, silicon shortages, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I'm selfish. I paid for these next-gen consoles. I want that definitive next-gen experience. And Sony went off and said that. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, why can't Microsoft, right? Well, the reality turns out to be the complete opposite, because that picture that you have shared is actually quite poignant. In fact, after you shared that, Colin Moriarty, who shout out to Colin, he also is a big PlayStation fan. Later on that in the afternoon here in the UK, tweeted out saying, well, hold on a minute. Microsoft is now taking the reins with this "we believe in generations," because that list that you shared is a factual list.
Yeah.
Xbox's next-gen only games. Those are those games. Fable, Avowed, Hellblade, there are loads. Name me one next-gen PlayStation 5 game that has yet to come out. I mean, I'm not talking about Returnal, the games that are out already.
Yeah, but those games will be redacted later on as well when sales figures come out and they don't hit the price points. Those games will eventually find themselves onto the PlayStation 4 platform. So,
like
is it real, or was Dilla lying when they said games are scalable? They are, right? So I want people to really just stop with this this narrative that Sony doesn't want the money. They need the money, to be honest with you. Jim Dance Moves Ryan was put into place to fix the budget, man, and he's trimming the fat. He's fixing the budget. They're having a successful launch, but financially they have to stay afloat and they have to make sure it's profitable, right? So it's not profitable releasing your game to a segment of your community that doesn't support it fully. They're not releasing not one game right now that's going to sell 8 million copies. If they have 8 million PlayStation 5s out there, they're not selling not one game that's going to do 8 million copies. So if you have a demographic of 127 million that's combined with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and you can get an 8 million seller from there with a cross-generation title that doesn't cost you anything else just to scale it up and scale it down, why wouldn't you? It's just great business sense to do so. So at no point in time should anybody be fighting and screaming and kicking and yelling. If it is a problem that somebody else on an inferior platform gets to enjoy a game that you're enjoying on your premier platform, why does that bother you? You got ray tracing, bells and whistles. Why the hell does that bother you? Right? They don't got it.
Oh, I think for some people, they look at that $70 price tag and that extra $10 to them. That is the premium they pay so that someone else can't play it.
Oh, they want that VIP pass.
Exactly. Yeah. So they get a sick satisfaction because they get this thing and somebody else doesn't get it.
That's a problem.
Oh, that makes them feel good. It makes them feel real good.
Oh, that's a problem.
Okay, Miles. I got one for you, Miles. This is a pretty new spicy take.
Oh,
we got Paul Tassi of Forbes, who historically has been pretty harsh on the Xbox, and for good reason when they weren't delivering a lot of games. But now he's decidedly more Xbox-centric. He put out an article today that said the free-to-play model of Halo is going to snowball and leave behind PlayStation's approach to charge $70 for games. Miles, did you read this article? Did you see this take?
I did, yes. There's been some controversy, some spice, as you put it, regarding really polar opposite approaches right now. You have Xbox Game Pass. You have Halo Infinite being this free-to-play, no barrier to entry, the biggest Xbox game in a long time. If you want to play the multiplayer, you don't pay anything. And Sony doesn't have anything to compete in that space specifically. And then the snowball effect, he's also mentioning Xbox Game Pass. Look at what Xbox showed us yesterday. They showed us 30 games. 27 of those 30 games basically coming in the next year are launching day one into Xbox Game Pass. I personally would have bought all of those happily. Yep. I would have cracked open the piggy bank, did what I need to do to buy those games, but I get those with Game Pass.
How's your wallet doing right now?
Oh, my wallet's it's so full. It's so fat. It's so happy. My wallet's feeling so good right now. Seeing that showcase, it's just, I love that they started it too. They started the showcase letting you know, hey, we're showing you 30 games. 27 of these bad boys are going to be launching in the Game Pass. So yes, you look at that and you're like, that's appealing. I love games. I want to play as many games as possible. Then you look at PlayStation. PlayStation's like, this game is rad. Ratchet and Clank looks amazing. Looks really good. It's $70. And people are complaining about its length and stuff like that. Those conversations don't mean much to me personally, but that is a fair point. $70 for a single player experience, or $15 for Xbox Game Pass, and you just get, what is it, 600 plus games right now?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yes.
Just isn't it?
It's absolutely disgusting.
It feels wrong. It feels
disgusting.
It feels like piracy almost. Like you're the back in the day when you used to get like bootleg games. That's what Game Pass feels like.
Yes, I got to call you to the carpet, man, and this is for you, buddy.
No.
Oh no!
This is for you, buddy. This is the fraud light. This is for you, buddy. I told you when because you made the Microsoft the equivalent of the douchey dude in the club, with a lot of money. And I told you he wasn't. I told you he was supremely sophisticated. He was 100% sophisticated. He's so sophisticated that he's listening to what his consumers are saying. And a lot of his consumers are saying, we don't want this $70 price tag. All right, well, Halo's been announced for what, $60? Same thing with Forza, $60. Okay, so you're not going to have to make that jump. And by the way, you can get all of that stuff inside Game Pass. What are you talking about? $15? Yeah, yes. That and more. Yeah. So, and I honestly believe out of those 30 games, I think 2 more is going to be inside Game Pass. I think they're just working on those deals up until that point because they want those games to sell. Because if you went to your console, you notice that most of those games are available for pre-install now if you have Game Pass and pre-order if you didn't. So I think they want those games to sell to gauge the price range on how much they're going to charge, Microsoft for putting that game there. I think Battlefield is that game that's going to make it inside Game Pass to push Call of Duty to the brink. But as far as Halo freedom play model and snowballing into the future, I think Microsoft in this show leaned heavily on what they DNA is about. That's multiplayer inclusion, right? So multiplayer inclusion, if you saw a lot of those games had multiplayer ties in it to keep you engaged inside Game Pass, to have your friends and to lean on the superior online network and have you stay engaged. Now, we are going to get those single player games later, but they can't beat Sony at their own strategy with single player narrative games at this moment, but they could beat them and bludgeon them to death with multiplayer stuff. And I saw so much of it. I was so proud that they decided to step away from following these dudes down their path and blazing their own path. And they made it so clear. The brand is so bright where Sarah Bond told you, these are in Game Pass, exclusive console stuff. It's amazing right now to be an Xbox gamer. It's amazing. I had to call Gaz. I was going to call Gaz today anyway. When I saw you on, I was I'll talk to him later.
I got to get into one more like spicy take before we move into the big brunt of what we're going to talk about today. I'll get into that in a second. Pimp Method said, I was disappointed about Killer Instinct, Perfect Dark, Forza Motorsport, the skateboarding game called Session, which I think is in preview, not being shown. Yeah, there were a ton of games they didn't show, and then there's some that just mentioned. I think Xbox had to pick and choose what they wanted to show. There's some I would have thrown out, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
But there were some smaller ones that we'll get in. Well, I mean, we probably won't even talk about it. That's how we'll get into it. We won't talk about those little games. Yodani Cruzada, a good guy that I've been talking to, a patron of the show. He said, Colt, I wore your Choose Your Weapon shirt for good luck on the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. Guess it worked. Halo, wow. I hope it brings back the nostalgia of how Mass Effect, Banjo-Kazooie, and Phantom Dust does for you.
Phantom Dust? Excuse me?
Oh.
Now you got my ears peaked up. Okay, let's go.
Old Dirty Gamer says it'll be easier for Xbox. Xbox One will become a streaming box next year. That's another thing we don't talk about, is how if they leave behind the Xbox, PlayStation doesn't want to leave behind the PS4 because they don't have a way to log in. I have a PS4 in the other room. My kids are playing Sackboy Big Adventure on it. They can't play a next generation only game via any type of setup. Not yet. Edward King says, massive point not enough people are talking about. Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, Flight Sim are all $60 for pre-order. Just like King said, not the $70 price tag.
Yep.
For the people who don't have a series system, that was Edward King. This is from Jigga J, says, for the people who don't have a series system, will they be able to stream the next-gen games through the cloud by the end of the year on Xbox One? That's part of his question for Edwards, but yes, I think so. Okay, do you know?
Yeah, okay. All right, so what you've noticed, and 3 pillars that Satya Dalla said, going forward is their strength is one, their money. Two, the fact that they have a superior cloud service and the Microsoft brand. The cloud service, once they picked up this tech, when they purchased ZeniMax, y'all forget ZeniMax had a superior cloud tech that was able to be used in the browser. It's no weird coincidence that all of a sudden now that they're able to launch from a browser going forward, and the latency and everything has picked up tremendously if you've gone back to your xCloud. So, I mean, if you do have those functionalities right now, you can pick up your phone and go check that out if you're part of the program. If not, I suggest you do so. But going forward, that stuff will be available to the weaker consoles because they're putting those blades inside the servers. Now, once those blades are in the servers, the Series X blades are in the servers, and that technology is being streamed to your box, you're going to get it at a lower resolution inside your box. But again, they're trying to keep you around. You haven't heard them say that they're not trying to keep the consumer around. They're also in the backgrounds talking about a streaming device that is going to get to your pockets. From what I'm understanding, the price range that I talked to a couple of companies about is $79.99 without a controller, and with a controller is $129.99. So, and I think that's a incredible sweet spot because that automatically goes against, the Fire Stick and Amazon's gaming system as well. So they need to position themselves towards Amazon, and Netflix just released an online shop. If y'all have been noticing what's been going on in commerce right about now. So these are the stuff that they're trying to work against. They're trying to work against the actual big companies. And keep looking at Microsoft's continued partnershiping with Disney. I don't know what's going on there, but they have been leveraging Disney's personalities, be it the Marvel Universe, be it parts of the Pirates of the Caribbean, these type of personalities. They've been using these personalities, and they've been using them very frequently. So keep your eyes on that type of partnership going forward, because it might be some type of deals that you get with Disney Plus and the Microsoft platform with that streaming stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah, this is like a big change for how people consume games, and I can tell a lot of people in the community aren't ready for this, right,
No.
Gaz? They're not ready for something to be in a subscription service and for the price to be flipped on its head. Let me read this real quick. David Kaimetti says, "You guys are awesome, great stream. Xbox rules, baby. You guys are very sophisticated." Well, we haven't even started taking off our shirts yet, but hold on, we'll get there in a minute.
I'm ready. Wait, what?
Gaz, talk to me, baby. We got this little problem with these games. Some of these games journalists are still hung up, even today. Today and yesterday, they're still hung up, and they're telling their audience that Starfield is probably still coming to PS5. Let's hear about it. I'm serious. They are.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid, man. Like, literally, it has the words Xbox exclusive emblazoned behind the person who's talking about it, and that says, yes, it's exclusive. I mean, what else do you want them to do? To etch that in ink and blood on your skin or something? It's so silly. Like, I mean, honestly, it's become a bit farcical, though. And, there was so much denial in the run-up to this. The source video I made was made like a week. The intro was done a week in advance. It's not because it's not like I'm an oracle or anything. It's because I have some common sense. And Microsoft did actually acquire this bloody studio just to be all charitable. And now, I don't know who that journalist is, who's still like enthusing about the prospect of this. But I'm going to give you a free therapy session now. Hashtag just deal with it. It's not coming to PlayStation. I don't know what you want me to say.
Miles, they're saying it's going to be a year timed exclusive. Like that's still in the works. Give us the preach.
So if you read the article, there was like a specific quote that they're pulling out of this conversation to try to spin that, there's still hope. Don't give up hope, guys. We don't have to buy an Xbox yet. It's gonna come to PS5. Todd Howard said so. The quote, and I forget exactly what it was, it makes it sound like there's a possibility it could come to other platforms. And I think that possibility is if PlayStation says, sure, we'll put Xbox Game Pass on the PS5. Let's go. And then in that world, you'll be able to play Starfield on PlayStation 5. But until then, that day, if you want to play Starfield, you're going to need to get an Xbox. You can play it in your browser if you want to.
Yep.
But that's just you have some options. But PS5 for the foreseeable future is not one of those options.
But it might be if you hack it and you're able to stream it to your PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Use some third-party app or something.
Yeah, put a browser inside your PlayStation so you can play Game Pass.
Starfield doing this is interesting because can you imagine the absolute fallout with Elder Scrolls? Elder Scrolls. Oh,
how could you really want her? You don't even know what she looks like. It's like getting a random text message from some girl that says Jane, and you're like, "You're hot." You don't even know what she is. You're so interested. You
gotta go for it.
She's not that into you, bro. It's not happening. It's just done.
She has a sugar daddy that paid $7.5 billion. I think it's all taken care of.
Exactly. So back to you guys. Like I told you before.
Why are you putting me on
No, because I was trying to explain to you. It's going to turn into a whole snowballing effect, just like that. The Halo multiplayer. Game Pass changes the way that they deal with gaming. I think it changed the whole philosophy at Microsoft themselves because we talked in the background, and I felt that the fact that Xbox used to be a side project till it was gaining its footing, it was gaining its ground. And now it's not looked at as a side project. Actually, it's looked at as a revenue stream, a very viable revenue stream. They're a service company at heart. They're a software company at heart. Yeah. So if this is a pillar of that, what they're using is their service, they can make brick tons of money. They went from 3 studios to 23 studios in a matter of that.
26.
Yeah, well, you know what. All right, okay.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So, and I've been telling people 26 for a long time, but I wanted something from the show. I wanted to have those acquisitions that's been talked about in the shadows to be talked about in the light. If you notice, Sega's right there, right? Sonic's right there, right? And I was really hoping that would have came out, but this wasn't the right format for that. I think that stuff comes out at a later show, and I think way that they're doing business is different now. That
was Miles actually.
That right?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they were going to figure out a way to announce these acquisitions, not knowing like where they are on them, which makes a huge difference whether they announce it. And Miles said like 2 days ago on Twitter, he said this isn't. I'll just paraphrase your tweet, Miles, but you said this isn't really the place to talk about acquisitions when it's Xbox and Bethesda's stage.
I was considered basically the Debbie Downer because I was, there were the acquisition rumors were hot. They were heavy. People are like, oh, not Ninja Theory, but Crytek, Avalanche, IO, Rocksteady, NetherRealm getting announced at this E3. Let's go. Slam dunks. And I'm like, whoa. This is the first ever Xbox and Bethesda showcase. As hype as that would be, the Gatorade get hype moments that would happen, that's not the format that I wanted. That's not the format I expected, but I love the way that they did that. They started off saying Starfield's Xbox exclusive, and they ended it by saying Redfall is an Xbox exclusive. And the pacing of this show was just game after game after game after game. They're still battling to correct the Xbox has no games narrative. So in my opinion, they did exactly what they needed to do with this showcase. I don't necessarily want to see acquisitions here. Bring them on later in the year, but they just dumped 90 minutes of games. I couldn't even keep up mentally with it. It was an announcement, and I was riding a high of the announcement. They were going to the next game. 3 games in, I'm still riding a high from 3 games ago, and it was just this stream. So, yeah, what they did
I was
with
trying
this
to
show
type
was
the name of the game. Sorry, Miles. I was trying to type the name of the game and the release date, at least to have notes. Yeah. It was great.
I love the fact that they didn't do the personality thing. Like, they didn't have whoever, from the team up there, and they going through a fake scenario, and they're sitting on the couch eating gumbo or whatever the hell with controllers around. I just didn't want none of those cringe moments. I just wanted a treehouse type of environment where it was a game announcement, gameplay, move on. Game announcement, gameplay, move on. And they stuck to the script so well that they controlled the narrative going forward. But for some reason, people are off script thinking that Starfield and all these games are coming to another platform. And then they just not. Just give up the ghost and go buy a Series S. Go. Little Man is in the store right now. Go purchase him if you can find him. Because apparently only console selling out is the PlayStation 5. Yeah, right. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I got a couple I got to read here. Dovakin89 says, Colt, Miles, King, and Gaz, fire. People are they're having a good time tonight. Eric B says, I just want to know how many knees King David has collected since the Xbox and Bethesda show. Show me on how many fingers.
Thousands. I don't got that much fingers. I got thousands. Have you noticed my Twitter line? They don't bother me anymore.
Oh, man, you've been doing really good. Killer E305 says, Sony's SSD marketing is in shambles. 90% of the only possible games, this is another one, are on PS4. We found out Godfall, which was written by the developers and the media for PlayStation, saying this was only possible on the PS5. We're seeing more games come to the PlayStation 4, which we've said for a long time that unless you're building it specifically to do something that these other consoles can't do, that's kind of a sham. But more people are playing it. Godfall isn't, maybe it needs some more sales. Makai28 says, King, we need to make a shirt saying Xbox has your games.
I can't wait.
And one more, and then we're gonna get right into E3 with a little twist. David Kirchhoff says, King, you look weird with your computer screen reflecting off your glasses. Hey, come on, he's watching the show. He's got to keep up with the chat and everything. Let's go around the room. I want to talk about E3, but the story is exclusives. But I want to start off this discussion. I also need to say we have over 1,400 people watching live. Thank you all for showing up. My voice, this is Colteastwood, and I'm here with Miles Dompier from Windows Central, King David from Iron Lords Podcast, Gaz from Game On Daily. We're super excited, Xbox fans, to talk about these games. If you're listening in your earbuds, you might be using Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pocket Podcasts, or whatever to listen on demand if you're not here live. Those of you who are here live, thank you for coming and seeing our faces. We're having a good time. All right, let's start with Miles, and we'll go down to King, and then we'll hit with Gaz. What I want to know is, with this big show, what was the multiplat that you were most excited about, and why?
The multiplat that I was most excited about at the Xbox show. That's interesting. I mean, I guess we didn't see a ton of multiplats, generally speaking.
3 or 4, maybe?
Yeah, there wasn't a ton. But for me, Back 4 Blood, baby. I love Left 4 Dead.
Yes.
I love Left 4 Dead. I've had a Left 4 Dead shaped hole in my heart for a decade. So I've played the alpha. It feels good. It's exactly what I wanted from a Left 4 Dead, because me and my friends, we would ask ourselves, what would a Left 4 Dead 3 even look like now? Would it be the same? Would we even want that? Like, would a Left 4 Dead 3 even be good? And then I played Back 4 Blood, and I was like, yes. It's basically the classic Left 4 Dead that with roguelike elements. So there's a card system that mixes it up. Every single match feels fresh. That dropping in Game Pass day one. Battlefield, step aside. All right, we got Back 4 Blood, which
I'm coming for your blood, aren't you?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Battlefield looks dope. Battlefield looks really dope. But Back 4 Blood of the third party, it's number one.
It's renewed. Yeah, it's mine too, but well, you're not going to hear from me, but it is mine too, Miles. Like, I mean, Far Cry 6 looks amazing too, but Back 4 Blood's like the surprise showing. King, what was the multiplat that's available on PlayStation and PC? What was the multiplat that you were most excited about?
Okay, well, being that I'm a Left 4 Dead junkie, all right, Back 4 Blood definitely will take the crown. But I have to say, and there goes my $140 right there, and I'm holding out hope on the Battlefield that I get a chance to get that, in Game Pass, because I will rent the server, I will get my 64 versus 64 on the grappling hook, the glider suit. Jumping in the Jeep, jumping in a helicopter, jumping in a tank, hitting a boat. Those little things that Battlefield does that's completely different from any type of war-like environment game still stands out to me. And I thought they're bringing the thunder this time. It's no longer 1876. I'm no longer riding a camel, and
Thank God for that.
Yes, they finally woke up and decided to really compete this year. So those two will occupy the most of my time. But if I only had $70, it's Back 4 Blood.
Oh baby. Oh, Gaz, what are you going to say?
3 people with taste on this panel.
I see how it is.
What's your number one multiplat there, Gaz? What wowed you at the show that's available for everyone?
Gotta be Battlefield, man. At least it looks like a next-gen game. I know. I love Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead had such a fond memories of me, and I can't wait for Back 4 Blood. The amount of fun I had. I have fun when we bought it. Me and my friends didn't know what it was about. We didn't look into it. We were like, it's got 4-player online co-op, and we screamed like little girls at the start, like literally, because we didn't know what was going on. It was so much fun. I
mean, back then you were little, right?
Well, I hear King David is quite. I'm only 5'8". He's gonna hold me like a little gnome when I meet him.
Tell him, Gaz. Let me
cradle me to the Xbox stage.
Are we all going to E3 next year in LA?
Yes, of course.
Raise your hands. Are we all going?
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to go to the Game Awards show this year.
In the chat, let us know if you plan on, if they open up E3 in person, do you plan on making the trip to LA and going to see the festivities? Let us know in the chat. Say E3, I'm in. Write it in there, and we'll take a look here. I know Zocker's in the chat. Paris showed up. Paris will be there, I'm sure. Zocker, I know he wants to be there. He was planning on being there last year, but they canceled. Yeah. Are you in for E3? Let us know. So that takes care of the multiplat. So let's start at the very beginning with Starfield. Miles, it leaked ahead of time, but tell us how the reception went for you.
I've been on a bunch of podcasts going into the show, and everybody was talking about what did they expect to see first? What is Xbox going to kick the show off with first? And a lot of people, myself included, were kind of expecting Halo to be the big kickoff. Like, more, if you're a Halo fan, get people hyped, show them the nostalgia, like the multiplayer. They tapped into the nostalgia hard with that, and that would have been a good way to get fans kind of amped up and ready. I was not expecting the Starfield reveal, and then God Howard walking out on stage and like giving us a breakdown of what Starfield is and that it is an Xbox exclusive. But in hindsight, I think that was the perfect move, because going into this showcase, going into this year, the conversations surrounding Bethesda have been dominated by exclusivity. Is this going to be an Xbox exclusive? Is this coming to PlayStation? That has dominated more than people talk about the game. More than people even ask what the hell Starfield is, people were talking about, is it an Xbox exclusive? And it was, I was so tired of those conversations. Like we knew, like the writing was on the wall, we knew what it was going to be. So I'm glad Xbox came out on the biggest stage of the year and said, yes, if you want to play the biggest and best Bethesda games, you got to be part of the Xbox ecosystem in some way. So it was cool. It was still very cryptic. And it was surprising to me that we got a release date considering it was so far out. But I'm glad that that was shown.
A year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half out. And we still don't really know. There's been some interviews where Todd Howard has called it the Skyrim in space and the Han Solo simulator and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to next E3 when maybe we can at least see what the gameplay is going to be for this. The teaser was cool. I'm excited for people who are excited for it. I personally need to see some more before I get fully on board the Starfield train.
No pun intended on board. King, the game was, or the trailer was in engine, so
Right.
that's like what the game will look like. So, what were your thoughts? How did it receive for you?
Okay, well, when God Howard came out minus the leather jacket, I knew the leather jacket is only made for truly really big reveals. So understand that he came out leisurely just to let you know, listen, I've heard you talk. I'm tired of hearing you talk. This is what we have in engine. This is going to be representative of what the game can look like, should look like, and hopefully get to this level of quality. Later on today, they put out a tweet with a little bit more, and I retweeted that to tell you guys, shut up and sit down, because a lot of guys are crying. I didn't get a chance to see nobody shoot the gun. Like, I really wish they would have had a trailer with an in-game engine with him sticking the arm out the window with a gun, just shooting the gun and just saying, shut up. I can't really get super excited for stuff that I haven't really partaked in, right? So we get excited for Back 4 Blood because we know that these guys at Turtle Rock have done Left 4 Dead, and we can honestly know that they know how guns work, how the positioning of the maps and stuff like that work. So we have a real idea of what we're getting into and what we can just build ourselves up for. You know, it's a real reason why we see a Halo trailer and we really got to have that. Now, when you see something that you don't know about and you can say, oh, you're curious about it, good, I would like to see more. I would like to actually physically get a chance to play this game so I can tell you if I like it or I don't. I'm really indifferent about this game. There's too many other Star Space games that I do have. I saw the Outer Worlds 2 and was super excited, more excited than Starfield because I've played Outer Worlds 1. So I know what I'm going to get, and I want more of that. So me being excited for something that I truly don't know anything about, or me being upset for something that I didn't see, I didn't have any expectations of something that I have no idea what it is. And the level of hate because you saw an in-engine alpha, demo, whatever the hell it was, you just got a date. And I think people wanted a date more than anything else because it was announced like 5 years ago. So now that you have a date, now that you can pin your hopes, you guys that got your hopes pinned on this weird game, pin your hopes on 11/11/22 and just leave it there, and hopefully you're not disappointed. Me personally, when it does come out, I'm gonna try it. It's gonna be in Game Pass, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I'm just gonna move on. But I can't get excited for something I don't know what it is. I can't.
I'm kind of excited. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it because of the, I get it. I completely.
You was excited out for Fallout 76? How'd that work out for you?
I wasn't really
Not the
that
same
excited
team.
for Fallout 76. I'll be honest.
It kind of was, though, because you thinking about it. Think about the Fallout world, right? Think about when they said this is a persistent world, and you'll be able to. They were slathering you up for this, and you remember Fallout New Vegas.
We're allowed to be excited,
like,
King.
oh my God, this is gonna be amazing, and it came out and it was broken.
Hey, man. I never lose hope. I never lose hope.
I feel it.
Different team. Gaz, knowing what you know, this is not the Fallout 76 team. This team, this is the main team that's been working on this. So, Gaz, tell us what you expect. We've kind of gone around about how we received it. Tell us what you expect and how you received it. But what do you expect for Starfield?
I'm just hoping it's we don't see many hard sci-fi. If you know what hard sci-fi is, don't see many hard sci-fi takes in gaming. And the theme of that game just really intrigued me a lot more. I was way more excited after I saw that. I was actually hoping it would be something like that, but I don't want to fall out or Skyrim in space. But this kind of alluded to that. That kind of hard sci-fi. It almost feels like The Martian / Interstellar. I love those movies. Mostly Interstellar. that kind of like you explore worlds and the world is telling its story and in a well-realized world. And I don't need to see the combat as much. It's more the notion of exploration. And if you listen to the narrative in that trailer, it was about humanity finding its footing again into space. And it's the whole intrigue of exploring space and finding what's out there. It's the whole notion that gets us so intrigued about in popular franchises like Star Trek, for instance, to go boldly when no man's gone before. That kind of hard sci-fi take could be really well done. This is apparently a culmination of their years of work, years of dreaming for like the best part of 2 decades that they've been imagining trying to make. So it can't just be a rudimentary game, or I said it's not Fallout, it's not rudimentary, but I think they're going for something special with Starfield. They're going for the stars. But no, they really are. They really are, and I'm really intrigued, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see it. David's like, it's gonna be Fallout 76 again.
No, I didn't know. I didn't say that. All right. I don't get it. That's just me. From my standpoint, I just really don't get it. I have so much now that I really don't need to be worrying about something a year and a half later. But you, yes, I'm happy for you.
but it's the notion, because no one else is going to offer that. No one is going to offer potentially.
Oh, No Man's Sky.
No Man's
don't say that.
Come on now.
Listen, I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer here, and I'm not trying to be the wet blanket, but I've listened.
You're doing a good job of it.
But I've listened to so much hyperbole over things until I actually get it and consume it myself.
But this is not. I mean, this is not even something that's completely out of reach. It's just literally a narrative. It's like a tonal thing. Going for hard sci-fi. It's not like something unattainable. It's from the trailer. It's what they exuded. The game could be completely different. But
I have to remind you guys, like, everyone drives me crazy when they come at me about being excited about Bethesda acquisition, and they say Fallout 76. Like, really, that's the only game they've put out that I can think of that wasn't really great.
I just actually like the game. I actually like Fallout 76.
Oh my God!
A lot of people.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want to say. Those 2 DLCs that they got coming out right now that will be inside Game Pass. I mean, maybe in the beginning when you tried it in the beginning, I will say go back and try it right now. A lot of things have
played
changed.
it at FPS Boost. I mean, I don't know. There should be good things. There should be good things. Let me hit some business here. We got Pixelbit G says the joy in this room. He actually wrote this super chat before King started ticking us off. He said the joy in this room right now is exclusive. Bones Dead Fossil 48 says thanks Colt, Miles, King, Gaz for the podcast. No, thank these gentlemen for coming here and taking their time to talk about what they love with an amazing audience of over 1,400 people watching live. Thank you so much. Makai28 says, what I got from this E3 is Xbox is pissed. You poked the sleeping giant, and now he's coming at you. Yeah, Xbox has finally arrived. We're going to get into that in a minute. Dovakin89 says, Starfield sounds like Skyrim on steroids. I actually thought he wrote asteroids, which would have been a great pun. Skyrim on asteroids. Evan Washington says, shout out to the panel. Turned into Iron Lords for the first time this weekend. Oh, man, where have you been, Evan Washington? You got to check, but thank you. Yes, they're amazing. This is his first time checking out Iron Lords podcast prior to E3, and he says, I am now a King fan. Ooh,
thank you,
nice.
brother. Thank you.
Edward King says the Horizon 5 trailer has less than 2 million views in 2 days, but almost as many likes, 120,000 likes on YouTube as Gran Turismo 7 with 10 million views. Edward King's doing some Google and YouTube analytics there to see what is liked and what's not liked. Also remember that Xbox pushed out all of their content in different languages and ASL. They're all about accessibility, so everything gets spread across different points. But, this PlayStation stuff's really popular. Brigadier's Blue says, after showing all that's coming to Game Pass in the near future, how jam-packed is it, and what are your thoughts on the subscription numbers for Game Pass by year end? Let's start with Miles. What do you think the subscription numbers are going to be for Game Pass by the end of the year?
I think 30 million is safe. I think 30 million is a safe number with with their commitment. We knew Halo Infinite was coming. That was going to move the needle. There's going to be people who maybe have fallen out of love with Xbox, haven't played it for a while. They're going to see that they can play Halo Infinite in Game Pass. Like, let's go. Let's squad up. I haven't played with you since college, dude, but the new Halo's here. Let's go. So there's going to be a bump there for sure. But you got the messaging from Phil. Big Papa Phil came out on stage. And he's like, every single month, we're going to give you one noteworthy title in Game Pass. Every single month, we're going to pull new people in, and we're going to keep the people subscribed, signed up to this service. So I think 30 million is a safe, easy number. I would love to see it pumped higher than that. But yeah, I'll stick with 30 for now. That's my safe guess.
Gaz, your savings account is on the line if you bid incorrectly. But what do you think the Xbox Game Pass number will be by holiday or close to Christmas?
Yeah, joke's on you. I have no savings, but I would say around about 28. I think 30 is quite attainable, especially, and people have said this, that Halo is going to be the catalyst towards that tipping point. That 30 million is seen as the tipping point where it's now super sustainable, right? But I think 28 and 28 is still extremely high, in my opinion. At the end of this year, you're talking about a matter of a few months.
It is pretty high, yeah.
Yeah, so like that's my number, but I don't know if they'll disclose it. But yeah, Xbox's Game Pass's trajectory is just up. It's only a question of when, not if. So, yeah.
He just said 18 million at the E3 show. So if you would have said 20, I would have been like, yeah, maybe that 30 is attainable, but we still have 6 months. I guess somebody could do a graph and kind of figure out maybe 30 is on the trajectory, and all the big games are going to start coming out. So yeah, we'll get into that. Old Dirty Gamer says, why is it Xbox guys always buy PlayStation for their single player fix, but PlayStation guys will just wish and work for Xbox's destruction, including the media? Well, I mean, I don't believe the media has anything against Xbox. I just think sometimes there's a double standard, but you can get mostly everything on Xbox except for the big exclusives. So Rafael Geraldo says, great show, Colt. See, you got my Lord King on. What's up to Miles and Gaz also? He's got a question for the panel. Any news for larger memory expansion cards? Because E3 is crazy and my rear end is running out of space. Pause. I've already got an external. So, Miles, have you heard anything about the expansion cards? Like, they're opening up for third party.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see. I hope we see that this holiday. I haven't heard of any companies saying that they will have one ready for this holiday season, but I'm in the same boat. I got the Xbox expansion card. I'm at 95% between my 2 terabytes on the Series X. My hard drive, every time a new Game Pass game comes out, is like, please, God, no more. I can't. Flight Sim. I haven't God, I don't know what I'm going to get rid of to install Flight Sim. So hopefully we get some news soon, but I haven't heard any concrete details on a date, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're opening it up for third party, so the price will come down once that gets into the market and gets in motion, but I haven't heard anything about bigger size. Have you guys?
No, I haven't heard anything yet. That's going to be a problem, a good problem to have. A problem for the PlayStation side as well, because we haven't had zero on expandable.
Yeah, where's their expansion card? Let's talk about the next game that blew minds and ocular places with Stalker 2.
Oh my God.
King Dave, let's go with you as you jump back in here. Tell me what you thought of Stalker 2. This is a short-timed exclusive, reportedly just 3 months, but tell us.
I'll take it. Well, when I saw the guns, I didn't believe it. Like the last trailer, if y'all can go back to that, I was like, I don't care for just seeing guns, all right? And don't show me no guns with no backgrounds and all zoomed in and looking all great and using all your power on the guns, because it's not real. This is lies. And then I saw the game. Took my breath away. It actually showed me what Jason Ronald and the team has concocted with the power of this console. And the tool sets look like they set in, people. It looks like the tool sets are maturing, and this stuff is starting to whistle along. Stalker, from what I hear, has never looked this good in its life. And right now, it's set to look incredible on a Series X and a Series S console. with true ray tracing. And when I say true ray tracing, you know what I'm talking about. Go to Digital Foundry if you thought I was saying ray tracing. With true ray. Yes, I'm petty as hell. I don't care. I don't care because I don't need to be apologetic to people that was kicking sand in my face. I went and I worked out. Y'all in trouble now. But to see the lightning in the background and you using that rail gun in a dark room where you're shooting it and it's lighting up and illuminating the room while you're hitting your target, while the blood splatter is hitting the wall, while the gun is individually it's just, it was so much. You was having an eyegasm of so much graphics going on at one time. The floor was wet. It was raining. And then you looked up at the metal railing on the wall where the lightning hit and you saw it illuminate the countryside at the bottom. Like if you was really just, I looked at it probably 100 times. If you really looked at it and took that scene in, it looked incredible. We're at a point now where games of this stature, and there's not discrediting the company that's making the game or the developer that's making the game. What I'm saying is that somebody with a supreme budget, right, of these AAA titles, and I hate giving A's to stuff, but you know what I'm talking about, a game that has been funneled money. When games like this, that that they're working their hardest on, can achieve level of fidelity like this, all I want to know is how does this thing play? How does the guns handle? How does it feel? Does it feel Bungie-is? Does it feel, I don't want it floaty, I want it to feel weighty, I want it to have that gravitas. Because when he was sitting at the campfire talking to the dudes, I was into it. I'm looking at the fire. I'm like, the fire looks good. This guy's teeth look incredible.
The guy's teeth.
Did you see? Because okay. The reason why I said the guy's teeth is before, when they showed you the trailer, they showed you the guy's faces and they showed you the player model, right? And they was really zooming in on the teeth and showing you some stuff. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that would be relevant when they were sitting at the campfire and they were talking. I was like, yo, dude, the teeth do look crazy. All right, so this stuff looks really good and rich. And for 3 months, good, I'll take it. I'll take the exclusivity for 3 months to have it to play first. And if it's inside Game Pass, I'm definitely going to dabble in it. But it was amazing. Absolutely amazing to see.
Might I have permission to take some knees?
Oh, go get him.
We got Angelo Angaboo in the chat that says, laugh out loud. Come on, Stalker 2 doesn't look better than Horizon 2, which he's a big fan of Horizon Forbidden West, but he doesn't know what the name is.
All right, that's funny. All right, so time out. So
he thinks that Stalker 2 doesn't look as good as Horizon Forbidden West. Both games look phenomenal.
Thank you.
One game Stalker looks completely photorealistic. Miles, take us in with this spicy take. Tell us, and you can teach Angelo here. I said his name wrong, but Angelo.
But he's probably playing it on PlayStation 4.
Tell us about Stalker. Tell Angelo and 1,400 people watching. Tell them what you thought of Stalker 2 on the screen.
Like King mentioned, the last demo that we saw of this game was kind of weird. It was It was gun porn, highly detailed guns just spinning in a circle slowly. Look at those textures. And then they're like, hey, we're giving every character in the game unique teeth. And you're like, okay. Sick. And they're like, here's zooming in on ugly, shattered teeth. And you're like, okay. But it just goes to show you the attention to detail this team is putting into Stalker 2 is absurd. And we saw that, like you mentioned, when they're sitting around the campfire, you notice those teeth.
Yeah.
As much as I love Demon Souls, one thing I hated about Demon Souls is that every single character had the exact same teeth. And it was off-putting. It's a minor thing, but every time someone would talk, they had the exact same pearly whites. I'm like, no, you're living in a dungeon. You don't have massive pearly whites. Stop that. So
Teeth Tech 2.
To see those details come to life in Stalker 2 is really impressive. And like King said, the budget between Horizon and Stalker 2 is probably night and day.
Yeah.
The budget for Horizon is probably astronomical compared to that of Stalker 2. They're completely different art styles as well. There's no need to directly compare them, which I can't stand the direct comparisons. Like, this game looks better. This game's cell shaded. What are you talking about? They're not even in the same wheelhouse. And that's how I feel about Stalker 2. And Horizon looks incredible. I'm not denying that Horizon looks incredible. Stalker 2 is something different. Stalker 2 looks incredible in a different way. Way more realistic. Horizon stylized.
Ratchet and Clank looks incredible in a totally different way. Somebody tried to compare Hellblade 2, which looks photorealistic.
Yeah.
Compare that to Ratchet and Clank. I'm like, what? You can't.
Why?
That's like saying which painting is better to two different people. It just doesn't comply. I'll tell you what. Horizon Forbidden West looks phenomenal. We're all in agreement. It looks great. Open world, has a really great art style that's like, you know, those games are near photorealistic, so they look really great. And then you get something like Forza Horizon 5, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. That looks photorealistic, and you're going to be going, without an SSD, you're going to be going, you know, 150 miles an hour or 230 kilometers an hour, depending on where you're at. And you're going to be going super fast in those games, and that's all going to happen in real time, in-engine. Absolutely amazing. Gaz, I want you to take us into our next game that Xbox showed. This is a wild card, a curveball from Xbox. Avalanche Studios has partnered with Xbox to make Contraband.
Gaz,
tell us what it is.
Ask me about a game no one knows anything about other than because they showed you that little CGI thing that didn't say anything. But
well, you've heard things. We've talked a little bit. Give us the sauce.
It's the saucy bit. I've heard it's a co-op high-space game set in the 70s. Yes. Yes, I have. And Miles told me all the time.
Well, not everybody's heard this, Gaz, so...
What?
Do it, Gaz. Not everybody's heard this. Reset it for the audience. Yes, what is Contraband? Say it again.
Apparently, according to voices in the background, Contraband is possibly an open-world co-op game set in the 70s, and it's all about heists. I'm imagining things like GTA heists, but I don't know what that's going to be like, but we haven't seen anything. But yeah, that's like a perfect candidate for Xbox's library, right? And Game Pass. But other than that, I can't say much without actually having seen that.
So four-player co-op is what we...
Oh, I thought you were alluding to its acquisition. That's
No. I think what we're hearing is four-person co-op online. We're also hearing none of this is you can take home and write an article about. But
Windows Central Gaming has some juicy details on Contraband.
Let's go directly to Miles. Take the floor.
Yeah, so Jez put up an article recently because we teased Project Typhoon for a little while. We've been perpetuating the cyclone for a while. So we've had details. We've known this was coming for a little bit.
What does cyclone mean? Real quick, what does cyclone mean?
It was just the closest thing to a typhoon. Like it was the closest image.
Okay. But we don't know what Project Typhoon means, right?
It was just the code name for this project, which ended up being Contraband, the official title. So yes, 4-player co-op, heist 'em up that can be played single player as well. And it sounds really compelling because it seems like it's less about like Grand Theft Auto heists. You can run in, you can shoot them up, and you can just go in guns blazing. And it seems like this is less about that and more of like they showed that map table. Like you're laying out your plan. Here's your mission. So to me, it's almost like 70s Ocean's 11 vibes. Like you're planning out this grand heist with the squad, and everybody's collaborating to get the job done.
That'd be wicked.
Ooh,
that sounds great.
Nice.
That sounds
so.
Great.
I mean, how soon are we going to see Contraband?
Summer, right? Summer, is that what they said? Correct me if I'm wrong, but or did they just say 2022?
I'm
in the
blanking
trailer?
on that news.
Yeah, it said 2022.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, next year.
Okay. Let's see here. I've got Neil B says, "Hi Colt, Miles, King, and Gaz. Just like to say thanks for all you do. What great support." And Captain Duffy says, "This was the best show ever, but we're still missing one genre, and that's the third-person action adventure. If Xbox nails that, PlayStation won't be required for him or for whoever he's talking to." And Dovekin89 says, "The Hurricane Heist." He puts the little typhoon or whirlpool emoji that we saw so many times. King, let me ask you, is there a third-person action-adventure game in the works? You've been talking to a couple studios. Tell us what Compulsion is working on. We didn't hear from them.
He said, what? I don't know what he's talking about, but I didn't hear anything. Anyway, the third person genre, it's gonna come. That's Cognito's hashtag. Just one. He wants that game bad. And it's gonna come from one of these studios. Is it Joy in the Dark? It could be anything. It could be Hellblade 2. You can actually get it there. These games will be made, but I think those games take a longer turn in the tooth to be produced, to be thought out. If you want a concise story, if you're building a world, you're building character building with NPCs that aren't bland. So don't think these games from the PlayStation side just popped up like that. Those took years and years of failures and stuff to build. For Horizon, and this guy's so crazy about Horizon. For a lot of people, that game was boring. I fell asleep every time I played it. Shout out to Randall Thor. I think he fell asleep too, or playing the game or whatever. But the game was boring to me. And I still didn't make it through the game, to be honest with you. So when I see part 2, I'm like, okay, let me finish 1 first. So it's and that was all because I thought the NPCs in the world was really bland. So I want a rich story. I want rich, intriguing characters, and I want them to take their time. I don't want them to go half-cocked trying to chase Sony down a lair that that's not their lane. What we did see from this show, and I can't get amped for Contraband because they showed nothing. So all I'm thinking about is Smuggler's Run. If anybody remembers Smuggler's Run, I was thinking about that. I was getting those vibes, to me. And I don't care about dropping off dope or whatever. I got to drop off a gun someplace else. Let me go do that. Let me go get this run and then go drop the stuff off and, get back to the base and meet with the dudes. I don't know. So when I get a chance to play that game, I'll be amped up for it. But Microsoft is in the works doing it, and they hear you guys. Trust me. They hear you guys, and they know that they have to hit with those games. So if they don't hit with them, what you're going to say? You're going to say, it sucked. Another flop for Microsoft. So don't rush it. Take your time and work on the games that we do know, because I know all those games on the list that we do see, those games are going to be trickling in very soon. And when they start hitting, and those games really like a vow. I really wanted to see a vow. I was told that it was supposed to be there. Guy lied in my DMs. But I really wanted to see that game so bad, really.
Xbox isn't done for the year.
Nope.
We may see more at. We're hearing that there's going to be another small portion of presentation for Video Game Awards in December, but. The next big thing they showed at E3, I'm going to go to Gaz first on this, was the nail biter. Does Halo Infinite look good? Did it improve? Gaz, what happened with Halo Infinite? Did they drop the ball?
Man, oh god, it was impossible to have a good E3 if Halo balls were dropped. That sounds weird. No, if the ball was dropped with Halo.
There we go.
Yeah. Halo's ball was dropped a long time ago. Halo Infinite, man. Like, it had so much going against it, and like we didn't see much of the game, the campaign, but we saw that fly through, which is incidentally something Colt, you were actually saying really that they should do about Fable and stuff like that. But it goes to show the impact of a flyover, because that almost not single-handedly, is in conjunction with the massively impressive multiplayer. But that kind of like derailed a lot of the skepticism, because that one flyover just said, the game looks like art. Yeah. Fine, we'll give it that. We'll give you a bit of. And then we saw Chief and Cortana and Fonz already. Shout out to Fonz. Man, he is a big critic of 343 because he really comes from a position of passion with Halo and the narrative, particularly the narrative point. But for him to then turn around, it speaks volumes about what 343 have attained with Halo. They really brought. I'm astounded. Like, I was very critical. We all were very critical, and I said, look, some people were saying heads have to roll, and that was a bit crazy. But we did say, we were like, okay, 343, this is your third strike. And Bonnie Ross has actually acknowledged that. He said they got they half of it right with Halo 4, half of it right with Halo 5. Now they have to get all of it right.
Yeah.
But oh man, look, the graphics, they look mad. The tone and the story, they're bringing it back. They're going to reconcile it. I can't wait to play. I'm a massive Halo nerd. But with the multiplayer as well, oh my God, I'm going to stay single forever, man, because that game looks sexy.
We already knew that, Gaz. We already knew that. Give us real quick, what was your reaction, Gaz? Like when we started to see those montages, we were watching the show live.
Yeah.
We were in a party. How was your action? And I want to go to Miles next.
Oh man, I think it's unhealthy as an adult to be that excited about a multiplayer game. But I was so happy, man. I mean, they just was mad. I was jumping up and down like a madman. And because you say 3 for 3 better deliver a great multiplayer, but you don't know what it actually looks like until you see it. And then they made it look good. They made it feel like Halo 3 and the old Halo and Halo 2 in many aspects, and Halo 1. They brought the spirit back, but then they added a tetanus shot to it and brought it to modern times. That grappling hook,
yes.
I can't wait to get a hold of that. Oh my God, that grappling hook looks mad.
The grapple.
Onto that Warthog flipping around. I just got those flashbacks of those scenes. And there's these quality of life updates with the overshield. We saw it with the the multiplayer breakdown. There's these tiny little things as well. The little the counter shield of almost such a good touch, but you can almost like a rocket jump off. The cadence in the gameplay, the smoothness of it, the impact of that gunplay. Just I'm itching to play that. It's criminal. It's free to play. It's like, how spoiled are we? But I think look, you have to look. 343 were raked through, and it's still the jury's out because we haven't had the game, right? We haven't had a game in our hands. But look, we gave 343 a really hard time, time, and they really suffered. And it would have been a very difficult conversation because there's people's livelihoods here, and people were saying they were crunch and this and that and nonsense, right? But just as hard as we went on 343, we should really make a concerted effort to really acknowledge what they've actually done. And I think,
yes.
And the community is doing that naturally because the game looks so good. I think we should take a moment to, let's say, 343, mad respect to you that you took the time, you delayed it, you listened to us, because it's not easy to delay the flagship title of an Xbox, no less Halo, and then to deliver something so good. Craig delayed it, yeah. Craig's now got textures on his face. So shout out to 343, shout out to Phil, shout out to everyone, shout out to Bonnie Ross. You have a lot of respect. You've been tremendously forthright and transparent despite the unimaginable critique. So sorry to rant there, but I say thank you so much.
Very well said. Yes, shout out to 343. Shout out to Evan Washington for becoming a channel member. He's got the Joanna Dark emoji badge. If you join, you'll get that next to your name, and you get a green name, so it's easy. You got Yodani in the chat as well to show up. Miles, tell me how Halo Infinite hit for you. There's a smile on your face. I can see it already. Take us through it.
Halo Infinite showed up. I love Halo. Halo is one of the most important video game franchises in my life. And I liked Halo 4. I thought Halo 5 was fine. So there's been a stretch of time where I haven't been in love. I've got some FPS side pieces, that I need to satisfy my needs in the meantime while Halo gets their stuff together. And what we saw from Halo Infinite at the showcase, like Gaz mentioned, it shut down a lot of the criticisms. It shut down a lot of the narratives of what Halo Infinite was going to be. There was a lot of conversation that Halo Infinite wasn't going to do this. Halo Infinite wasn't going to do what it needed to do. We got the beautiful panoramic shot of the updated campaign, which they didn't give us any brutes. They weren't going to show any brutes to zoom in. I was Team Handsome Craig. I wanted shirtless Craig, abs oiled on the mountainside, just glistening in the sun, be like, what's up? Craig got his glow up. I wanted that level of confidence. I didn't get that, so slightly disappointed there, but we got a good taste of what the campaign's going to bring, what the narrative's going to bring, and that multiplayer. People tried to write off that grappling hook at the first reveal. To them, I say no.
Oh, yeah.
That grappling hook, what they were showing.
You got to earn that. You gotta earn it in multiplayer. You got to go grab it.
Jacking the vehicles with the grappling hook, grappling weapons into your hands.
That's nice.
I mean, you look at how do you look at that? If you like any first person shooter at all, how do you look at that and say, Halo's whack? Halo's whack. No one said that. And the last time we had the showcase, I wasn't that negative on it. I didn't think it looked that great, but I remember watching the gameplay and be like, this looks cool. This looks fun.
That was good.
And then going on Twitter and be like, oh God, people did not like this. Jesus, this game is getting, like Gaz said, raked through the coals. I went on Twitter after the stream kind of expecting someone to be like, oh, this still looks like trash. Nothing. My Twitter feed was so positive, and it just felt so good to have a good showing from Halo Infinite. So, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. Toxic Knicks fan says, I'm not going to lie. That Halo campaign trailer had a grown man teary-eyed. Made me think about how many hours I spent inside that helmet. Truly amazing. So, King, I want to go to you. Let's talk about the slow moment of Master Chief taking a step out of that derelict ship in the zero gravity. Tell us like what you were thinking, how the game looked, what you saw, and what you noticed in that moment in the dark.
Well, first and foremost, I was happy when they got rid of Dude Buddy, the little space dude that was like his co-pilot or whatever the hell that was. I really hate that buddy cop thing that they were doing. I really couldn't stand it. I didn't like the comedy of it. It really hit wrong. It left a sour taste in my mouth from the first. I really could not stand it, and it was super cringe to me. And the fact that they made sure that it wasn't about Dude Buddy and kept him either off screen or kill him off. I don't care. Like, just get rid of Dude Buddy. But when Master Chief like left the ship and was floating through space and moving, and you were seeing the hull of a ship destroyed, it gave me vibes. I think it was 2. Was that Halo 2 when he was in space? Going from, or was it 3 when they woke him up? And, she was like, Chief, wake up,
4.
wake up, Chief. Yeah, whichever one it was. I've been playing them so much. They start to blend together. Mm-hmm. It gave me those vibes. And then he made it over there, and he's talking to this new Cortana. We don't know what her name is because it's not Cortana. And she was like, she's supposed to be deleted. I mean, I remember crying when Cortana was going through the Infinite, and she said that she, like she has to delete herself because she goes insane. And like the dynamic between the two characters, and when he took her and put her in his little SSD slot in the back of his neck, I was like, oh my God, the fight is on. But I'm looking at the graphics and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. They listened to all the criticism and they put together a true trailer that they left impressed by. They were no longer dancing in the mirror by themselves thinking they got dance moves. They called other people inside the room and said, yo, how do I look dancing here? Oh, your left foot is weird, dude. Work on that left foot. And they really got it together, and they took off the shiny pants. Dude Buddy is in the bushes. I didn't get a chance to see him.
So
I trust me, that is the most cringe moment. Like, Dude Buddy saves Master Chief in space and then jacks him up, and he's like, disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Well, if we all got along, it wouldn't be a very fun show, would it? But I'm gonna block King on Twitter right now. It's over.
The hottest take so far of the show.
I just really didn't like that dude. But it's
I gotta hit Jeff Grubb's super hilarious. He says, love you boys. Nice to hear some smart talk about games after a rough day at E3. Shouts to Verizon. He also said that the AI in Halo Infinite, her name is Cortuna. So yeah. Now I want to say something. Violet Femme says I'm on Summing to King now as well. People love you, man. We love you. Like all honesty, lots of smiles. I want to talk about something that people might not have clocked, but when Master Chief stepped out into the derelict zero gravity and he's moving around, and if you notice, like he was kind of throwing away the dead bodies and the of the Covenant and the wreckage, like kind of thrown away. But then when he came up to the military fallen soldiers, like he he grabbed them lightly and respectfully moved them aside and gave a look at them. A nice little touch that we haven't seen in Halo in a while, right? And obviously there was a nice somber moment there. The game looks really great, and people say, well, they didn't show gameplay. So what I wanted to explain to the audience here is this game has a continuous camera. At all times, the camera is moving in and around. Never, I don't know if it does many cuts, but it's always moving in and around the character in real time. So if in those moments of him in the derelict ship look really great, know that once the camera swings around behind Chief's head, you are looking at the exact same visual feature set that you will be playing when you go guns up in the game. So people who, we didn't get to see campaign gameplay. So I wish we would have, but I do know that they have improved. His armor is way more war-torn. The guns have all those nicks and scratches and buffs on them. The game looks really great. I know we're excited. They did another showcase. Raise your hand in the chat if you watched the multiplayer showcase that was up at around 8 o'clock this morning on the West Coast. Did you guys watch it?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So
I
Gaz,
was going to touch on that. Because
tell us what you saw.
No, because the multiplayer felt like an old Bungie trailer. It felt like Bungie did the first trailer, like when they did it before, and it just gave you that old feeling back. And I felt really pleased with that. And then this morning, I knew it on Twitter yesterday. This morning they showed this, so I know, Go ahead, Gaz. I mean, it's just as cheesed as Gaz is for it. I've spent countless hundreds of hours with the team, Lord Cognito and the team, putting TVs together, landlining it, 16 people in the house, bringing back that feeling of Blood Gulch, sniping people, playing capture the flag. Like, I got your flag, that captured the flag when they jumped in the Warhog and was like, drive. I'm like, this is exactly what I'm talking about, and this is free to play. You guys are in for a hell of a treat. And I think 343 redeemed themselves.
Gaz, did you see the Warthog wheel break off and like the bonnet? I'm using the UK term. The bonnet comes off on the Warthog. Tell us what you watched the thing. I did like a little montage today, just for funsies,
good montage,
right?
By the way, that's really good actually.
So
it's really...
tell us what's got you hyped.
David's right. Like, it reminded you of that kind of old Bungie kind of format of those trailers as well that they showed off of the old Halos, and they felt like that as well. So I was like, so I'm reminiscing back to it. But the game, it's also I don't know, only the Halo faithful will really understand the little touches, right? But they've got this mode now, like a practice mode for people who want to get in on the lingo and the call outs and all that stuff. That's going to be needed because Halo is actually a remarkably quite deep game comparatively to other first-person shooters in terms of the competitive play. Like the skill gap is really high because if it's higher time to kill and that juggling play, one good player could dominate multiple enemies at once, which is why I like something like Apex Legends. This is why Halo shines like that. But when you watch something like this, you see like they are going all out with the attention to detail, the quality of life updates, how the armor. I really like this little thing now where the hit markers are they're highlighted, so you get headshots. It's weird. And has anyone noticed how hard the head bounces when you get a headshot? My headphones almost came off. Your head comes off your neck almost. So I'm just thinking, when you're teabagging someone, they're gonna look kind of dodgy.
Oh my god.
It's gonna look kind of something because that physics is all up in there. But why do I have to make it awkward? We're just talking about Halo.
I love it. Not a lot of people. I don't know if any people know. Like, Gaz is like really proficient, great first-person competitive shooter. Like, he gets on Apex, and when he steps into the room, like, people like, "Oh, sir, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Go ahead, have your pick of a character. We'll step aside." This is off topic, but Anton Williams says that Flight Sim is only 300 megabytes on the download. That's a pre-install. But he said he's looking forward to Scorn, which Phil mentioned on screen by showing what's coming. They didn't even showcase it. That game is probably coming really soon. I think it's 2021.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
that's all they have for the date right now is 2021.
Yeah, so I mean, when I told you guys, I think I said this last week. I said it on other podcasts. I've been like, Miles and I and King have been doing the rounds, getting on all these great shows. Xbox is going to show you more games than you can deal with. 108 Dragon, my man Lemon, I met him and hung out with him at E3 for hours. He says Halo did what King does. He showed us who is king, and if you want the throne, come and take it. Microsoft killed it and showed us confidence. Let's go.
Thanks,
And
bro.
Pixelbit G says, Brohammer is the human side of this war, King. Brohammer. I love it. Islar18 says, Mr. Cole, after finishing Mass Effect Edition, nah. And then watching that trailer from last year, it's clearly a direct sequel to Mass Effect 3 that hits different now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Take your time, BioWare. Bring everybody back in to make it. And Jonathan Douglas says, do we know if there will be a dash mechanic in Halo? This will kind of finish out our Halo talk because we could stay here all night talking about Halo. We've got a couple more games to talk about before we wrap up. Is there dash? Is there sprint? And is
I
there...
didn't see it.
It's sprint.
I didn't see it. What was the other mechanic? Oh, thruster. Yeah, dash. He means like the thruster pack.
Thrust for.
Yeah.
I didn't see
It doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't look
There is
like
sprint
it.
though, so all those hardcore that don't like sprint and ADS in their game get with the times, all right? They're the
Is
same
that
people
still
who
a
were
crowd?
against the grappling. But they were against the grappling hook. I'm sorry, but you can't say anything now, man.
Oh,
Oh, that crowd
gosh,
is still there. Miles. they're
Snatch
still
that
there.
gun
In
out your
numbers.
hand and shoot you with it.
Yeah, it's like they don't want the games to evolve. Man.
Could you
It's like-
imagine you're running out of bullets and before you just don't reload, you just snatch his gun out of his hand and shoot him
Oh, that
with
would
his
be
gun?
incredible.
Yeah. Oh,
I
man.
can't
always
Yeah, I don't
imagine
think they
that.
would allow that because someone would just go for grapple and just rip guns out and then just go butt stock them in the face. We could talk about Halo all night or all day, wherever. Gaz, it's like 2 a.m. for this guy. So give Gaz a shout out, give Miles a shout out for being here, and of course give King David a shout out for being on the show. This is the XNC podcast. We've got over 1,400 people watching live, and those of you who are listening on podcast platforms, we're on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcast, Pocket Podcasts, the XNC or the Xbox Newscast. So thank you so much for all of you being here. Let's talk briefly about Outer Worlds. Really great trailer where they're very self-aware. Obsidian did this with both of their games. We'll just talk about Outer Worlds, but they were very self-aware that we're not ready, but we want to talk about Outer Worlds 2. Miles is nodding his head. Let's go to you, Miles. Tell us about Outer Worlds 2.
To me, Obsidian are the new kings of trailers. The Grounded trailer, the Outer Worlds 2 trailer that they had, like those people love video games, and those people know how to have fun with video games, which a lot of companies lose sight of. And that's exactly what the Outer Worlds 2 trailer did. It made fun of every single video game trailer cliche you constantly see in a huge way. And it was so good. The Outer Worlds was something that caught me off guard by how much I loved it. Like, there's been these conversations of people wanted a new Fallout. After playing the Outer Worlds, I was like, you know what? I don't even need a Fallout for a while. This scratched that itch in a way that I don't even think Fallout could. Yeah. Great storytelling, great characters, amazing world. And now you give that team some of that Microsoft cheddar, some of that Microsoft money. Let's see what happens. Let's see what they do with this.
Yeah.
So, Gaz, did you play Outer Worlds 1? Is this something you skipped out on and I need to smack you upside the face?
That's exactly what you have to do because
oh my god, no!
I haven't played it. Yeah, I know I need to play it. Yeah. People don't realize that when you spend so much time making videos, you also have time to play the games. It's just so much.
Guys,
I need
priorities.
I need to play it. I have no excuse.
It is a Fallout Light. It's very colorful. It's very charming. My man King David, did you play the heck out of Outer Worlds, or did you skip it like Gaz? Because you're playing Apex Legends.
Not tooting my own horn of the Iron Lords podcast, but when we had Obsidian on, we was privy to, the DLC and the 2 DLCs that came out. So yes, I finished the game. What type of Xbox gamer would I be if I didn't? This is for you guys. Again, you've earned 2 today. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I love every aspect of the game. I love the fact that the trailer. Okay, so when the trailer was coming on, I thought it was Fable. Right? So
I did too.
Yeah.
The whole time it's coming through, I'm like, oh my God, these guys are going for the jugular. Right? And then even when they went into space, I was like, Fable's in space? Like I was just still in disbelief. Because we're doing the show, we're doing a live show, and we're watching it, and I'm like, whatever. And then, they pan out, and they just like, they taking jokes and stabs at everything, like Miles said. And it was just beautiful knowing that this game is about to ship soon in the future. But yeah, in the future, in the same around the same time that you get Starfield. So bad.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
This one I feel real good about it because I really love the first one. I love both DLCs. They actually fixed the problem that I had with the first DLC. They actually went back and fixed the problem that you had with it. And then when you got the second DLC, they allowed you to play from a position because it's if you didn't save right before, there was like a bug to it that you had to start the game over. They fixed all of that stuff. They actually do listen to the consumer. The game is very, very vibrant. It's very grounded. The NPCs handle like main characters, and your main characters handle like family. So when you're talking to them and you're picking your team to go out, you're like, man, I wish I would have did that mission with this dude, or I wish I would have did this mission with this dude. So a lot of times you're going to be doing multiple missions, having one save, then going back, having another save, just to see what the interaction would have been if you took this person in your party opposed to having somebody else. And the banter in between the teammates is incredible. So I really can't wait for that game. I think Obsidian is probably the crown jewel in Microsoft stable, to be honest with you, because at this point in time, their branching level of dialogue and their tech that they're using, that they're sharing with other teams, is it's going to be used, and you're going to see that prevalent in a lot of their RPGs because it's ingenious in how they use it. So yeah, I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, I think we might see Outer Worlds 2 in 2 or 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while, right? Miles, you thinking the same thing?
Yeah, fall 2023 would be my earliest expectation of that. But
time flies too. People always, I know it sucks to wait for stuff, but when you get my age, when you're in your 70s, time flies really, really fast.
This guy's crazy.
Oh my gosh! But let's talk about the next. I don't want to talk about all of them. Like Flight Sim looks great. It's probably one of the best looking games on anything when it comes to Xbox. It'll be you can't beat it, right? But I want to talk about Forza Horizon 5, and I've probably got about 1,000 hours in this series among the 4 games and the DLC. It's crazy. And I've been known to play this game at least once a week or a couple times a week the whole entire time the game is out. So let's talk to Gaz, who just was made a video for his channel. He turned off all the HUD and was immersed in the world that is Forza Horizon. What's your reaction to this showcase for number 5?
Man, we always knew Playground games were going to deliver, right? And it's not like the previous game was any a slouch in the visuals department, but I don't think anyone was expecting this level of visual fidelity. We were astounded. I mean, Colt, me and you watched it together. We were just astounded because it looked like photorealistic. It looked like real life. It's just like, wait, why is that? That is the best parts of Death Stranding with the rocks and the telemetry and everything. And then what it made me realize is that, the Mexico setting, man, we were all like, oh man, it's not in Tokyo, it's not in Japan, but Mexico. Yeah. Oh man, that's all gone out of the window because Mexico I want to visit Mexico now because that just I'm not even joking. The game made me like, oh wow, this place looks mad. It looks amazing. Playground games are on another level. Like, what a good acquisition on Microsoft's part. Because can you imagine what they will do with something like Fable But oh man, Forza Horizon just looks amazing. I have some concerns. I don't know what you guys do, but I have some. I just like the corner of my eye and just see you guys playing about. I guess I'll go back and watch what you guys are doing. But, yeah,
my cheeks hurt right here. You guys got me like smiling the whole show. I'm super excited. Super excited. Yeah, Gaz's reaction, it looks great. King David, are you a racing fan?
Yes.
Are you a snob?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that a boy.
All right, so the fact that it's at 4K 30, I was a little bit disappointed. All right, so now move the disappointment out of the way, right? Because that's the only thing that you could be disappointed at with this game, and that's not saying much because it looks utterly amazing. Because at certain scenes, I thought it was at 4K 60. I really did. But it was scenes that I thought they were doing shots for location. Right. And I thought they were going into, conversation about, all right, this is a hillside in, Cancun. And what we did was we had to, we use a 12K camera. And he's talking about it. And then the car just whips past. And I'm like, what? This is actual game? Are you serious? But the biggest thing is, okay, you can do that because we've been fooled back in the days with Sega Rally and stuff like that. There's one car on screen, and you can do stuff like this. Back then for higher graphics. But this had at least 5 to 6 different cars on screen, and then it got to the biggest part where it was at the volcano area, and then you seen at least 10 cars on screen, and I'm like, how are they doing this without blowing up? This is absolutely nuts. And then you realize this is not the new Forza Horizon tech. Yeah. This is the same existing tech that they built on that made it so robust. And I'm like, wow, they didn't reach the ceiling of this. Then you start thinking of further implications of this engine being used into other games. And then, like you said, Flight Simulator's engine being used to these photorealistic games. These games literally looks like you were in Mexico when they were going through the foliage. I was checking the car, right? And I was looking at the car to see if the car actually moved the brush out of the way. It actually did move the brush out of the way, right? It wasn't just like, Phantom going through leaves. Then you're looking at the Range Rover, and shout out to Lord Cognito with his Range Rover. I hope you was watching this because this was you driving through Mexico. I'm looking at the ray tracing on the roof, real ray tracing. I'm gonna say it again, not that fall ray tracing that you guys are used to on that other thing that y'all play with. Pause. But I'm saying this real ray tracing that you get a chance to actually see. I just really couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I really was in a level of disbelief.
Miles, take us to Mexico.
Yeah, a lot of people were kind of dumping on Mexico as a setting because everyone had it set in their minds. It's going to be Japan. Forza Tokyo Drift. It's in Japan, and then Mexico was revealed, and people were like, and I was like, you realize there's Mayan temples. You realize there's volcanoes, the beaches of Cancun, and this entire showcase was every single one of those locations being like, yes, 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 and showing you exactly what driving through these locations looks like. I remember them having that static shot of just a road, cactuses, the mountainside, and I'm like, oh man, that looks good. And then a car drives by, and I'm like, what the? Excuse me? And then he starts talking about like, we've modeled every single individual needle on these cactuses. I'm like, you're crazy. You guys are crazy. What are you doing?
250,000 needles in the cactuses. Yeah.
We can talk about Horizon being photorealistic, but Forza Horizon 5 literally is. Photogrammetry is literally photorealism. They scan a scene and they turn that into 3D objects that are in a game. And it shows the water. Dude, the water physics in this. I couldn't when it shows the shots of it just panning over the beach. I couldn't believe that wasn't like a real location. Yeah. I couldn't believe that was a real location. And we were going to be playing it this year. Like this game it's a couple months away, and we're going to be experiencing that. And I don't care about car games. I'm not going to lie. I care about Forza Horizon 5. That game looks amazing, so good.
Are we going to unlock like diamond encrusted hot pants in Forza Horizon 5?
Oh God!
I didn't like that bit in that game.
So they've got like fully customizable characters where you can change the voice. So your character was always like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing that mime thing again.
Yeah.
So yeah, they talked about it today in the developer interview with Playground Games, how your character, you can change the gender and voice, and you can change how they look. You can put prosthetics on. Like they bring this level of make it your own. And you already can do that with the cars. So I can't wait to see what they talk about more. Hey, let me give me 1 second here, guys. I want to go to you next on this. Jonathan Douglas says, imagine Microsoft Flight Sim Tech on the next Horizon game. Like if they could do the country a 1-to-1. We're already seeing something like this. The biggest map that Forza Horizon has ever had from Playground. Splatman says, Forza Horizon 5 trailer starts. I was expecting some guy to walk into view and introduce the game and didn't realize I was looking at the game, he says. That is excellent. Faisal Ashan says, it wouldn't blow up the Xbox King. It's a stable box when you're talking about all that stuff going on in the game. Such a great piece of hardware. And Yodani, my man Yodani says, get rid of the orange haze Hollywood ads. So real. So let's see.
You do know that's Jason Ronald's his game to watch that he was talking about on our show, right? And he couldn't say it until afterwards, and he tweeted it out. That was the game.
Oh, that was the one he was the most excited about?
Yes, that was the game,
gosh.
and now I see why.
Yeah, right from home. Sin Vendetta says, honestly, this Xbox E3 show really highlighted that the gamers coming from the Xbox brand have just started to snowball the game, and it's only going to get bigger each year. We eating good. That's what he's saying, right? All right, guys. They've got some new modes. Have you kind of checked out what else they're doing in Horizon for Horizon 5?
I didn't get to see the deep down today because I was too busy making that source video. It'll probably get me banned from the internet. But yeah.
So you were in your studio sweating bullets. You got the teleprompter, the music going. You got several cameras. You got all the hot studio lights. Living the dream. Living the dream.
That's all I'm doing.
All right, guys. So we already know about Forza Horizon 5, and I'll tell you, like I told you, I've got over 1,000 hours. I was really worried about fatigue, and I knew we'd see Forza Horizon 5. I didn't know I'd be this excited, and that's saying a lot from someone who has. I flipped the level over already on Forza Horizon 4. I'm super excited. But Phil Spencer closed the show, and he said, he's got the handsome jacket on. Phil's looking trim and proper, right? These are for the masses, and he says we've got one more thing. Gaz, what was the one more thing they closed the show? Do you remember?
Redfall. Yeah.
Redfall.
Yeah. Redfall was. It looks like a lot of people will bemoan the fact that there was a lack of gameplay shown, but what that actually, CGI trailers are CGI trailers, but you can actually get an idea, King, of the tone, and it's okay to understand what they're going for. It is okay. It's okay.
Never okay. The same money that you waste on a CGI trailer, just wasted on in-game engine.
No, but listen. That. You get an idea of what they're going for. It's not just like we heard of Project Omen before, and the whispers were, it's a vampire game, and instantly whatever. But then, the CGI trailer shows you the designs of these characters, King, and they show you, what they're going
sketches for that.
Yeah, but it looks good. It looks
What looked good?
Idea.
The CGI?
No.
Oh my gosh! Miles, should we bow out and let them do this?
Stirring that pot.
No,
I got to keep the same energy. I can't just be a fraud at one end of the spectrum. I got to keep the same energy all the way around. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
But what it did impress me were the ideas they had in the game.
What was it?
It was oozing, like, you know, the umbrella. You can't laugh until I've answered the question.
No, I just want to know what the ideas were, because I walked in the same way I walked out. Like, what the hell is that?
No, but I liked it.
Left
I was
for
like,
Dead with vampires?
But the vampire designs were cool. You know, she's an umbrella as a magic. They're weaving up magic. So it's like a co-op game, and they're mixing magic with vampirism. But you could see how there were different types of classes. You had a sniper class as well, and they wove magic in there as well. Like the umbrella shooting this purple thing to get, you know, ward off the vampire. And they had different vampires with different skills. They were very well designed, very well voiced.
Your hand motions, buddy.
I'm
Yeah,
like you.
he's trying to bring us home with him. He's like, listen, that's what a salesman does in a store when he's trying to sell you something to get you. He's trying to distract you from what's going on.
Like he's got the used car over here and it's got a big scratch on it. He gets in front of me. He's like, "What you gonna get the Hemi? Get the Hemi. It's really fast.
It does 127 miles per hour."
Miles, help us out here.
Oh God.
Help us out
Okay.
here with Redfall.
Yeah, Redfall. Rumored the Project Omen stuff, the vampire stuff we've been hearing about for a long time. We finally got to see it, and that was the one more thing, which was really interesting. Like, King obviously was not a big fan of it being a CGI teaser. He's made that very
We
very
should fight
clear.
for that. Like, we all should fight for that. That should be banned from all these shows. Like, keep the CGI in the bushes. If it don't look like that, don't show me that. In-game trailer, I'm all for it, 100%. But go ahead, Miles. I'm so
I was
sorry.
gonna say I kind of you're not gonna like this, but I kind of agree with Gaz that CGI trailers done well can set the tone of a game in a way that a in-engine gameplay trailer cannot.
Y'all gonna love my take.
I'm ready for it. It's going to be hot and heavy. But we know the game is coming in summer of 2022. So they probably have some gameplay that they could show. So it's coming soon. But I think you needed to set up what this is, because I'll be honest, I had heard about this game. I did not. That trailer was not what I expected at all. Like
Yeah,
a
me either.
4-player co-op shooter with classes and magic. Everyone is expecting Dishonored with vampires. They hear that. They
I was
say,
expecting more stale and dark and I don't know. Like, I like Dishonored and I love Prey, but yeah, I was not expecting. Not because Gaz was doing the umbrella hand motion, but I don't know if you guys have watched the Umbrella Academy, but there's like these characters have different. Because I'm trying to nail down before I go to King, I'm trying to nail down what this genre is, because I'm not privy to a lot of different sci-fi and fantasy type genres. I don't know what this is called, but it's not just vampire. There's like this magic comes from like Doctor Strange and all kinds of stuff. No gameplay shown barring that. Lord King David, tell us what you think of Redfall.
Okay, so the fact that it was a CGI trailer, I was automatically put off. All right, so take that, and it's like a fig. I don't like figs, though. So I saw it, you know, and it feels like, we got one more, and and I understand that this was a IP that they wanted the world to hear about and know about, because it was talked about in the background. And if you looked at Pete Hines' shirt, he had Bite Back on it. So it was a prelude to what was to come. All right. So actually, if you look at the little breadcrumbs, you're going to check it out later. All right. So you should have left it at that T-shirt, buddy. But then when we get to the end, all right, so we get to this Left 4 Dead type of characters that have mystical powers fighting against vampires. Now, this is the category I will put it in. It's probably 5 people opposed to 4 people, because I saw the robot that was there. But I mean, this is stuff that could be done in storyboards. And then we've talked about this stuff in the background a lot. The money that it takes to put together a concise CGI trailer, it's not cheap. This stuff is not cheap at all. So what do? You use the resources that you do have, and you use your in-game engine, and you put together a little montage using actual assets of the games, because what this does is sets unrealistic expectations on a game that doesn't need those type of weight put on its shoulders, because now you have individuals that are going to go back to this trailer, the CGI trailer that is not representative of gameplay, of actual gameplay, and said this game looks absolutely nothing like what you showed me. So again, this is the car salesman in the parking lot distracting you with his rings in your eyes while you're purchasing this car that is a lemon. But I'm not saying that this is a lemon, but what I'm just trying to say is that this stuff needs to be moved away from the industry and going right back to the true form of what we are looking for. Now, it didn't need to be shown. It could have been something else, but I believe that this game, they wanted to show this game. And this is one of their games that they have in the background, like the same way they had Deathloop. They weren't going to show Deathloop because Deathloop is being marketed by the competitor. We're going to get that game later anyway. But they wanted to show you, well, we have something that's a little bit better. And when they did show you Deathloop, they didn't show you a CGI trailer. You understand?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the same thing that I wanted from this. Don't give me that. Don't put unnecessary stress on a development team to achieve certain graphics that's not attainable, because that's really not attainable. What they were doing was really not attainable, not with this generation hardware, but maybe later. So what we do see later on will be amazing. The concept, great. I like the 5-player. I like the Left 4 Dead. CGI,
yeah, I'm with King. I'm with King. I'm with you on that. Like, when I think about the character models of Prey and Dishonored, look very similar. They're very chiseled and low. They're kind of watercolor painted is what they look like, especially Dishonored. And I've never seen Arcane Austin create that level of rendering in characters. So it does set up an unreal expectation. But Jeff Grubb in the chat said, money's not an option, not a problem. He's got it right here. I disagree. Money is not an issue for Microsoft. Dev time is, and this trailer, in his opinion, says does not take much dev time. Yeah, I don't know. And for all we know, Arcane could have commissioned that out to a third-party company and said, "Here's all our in-game assets. Here's our storyboard and our sketches. Can you create something based off of this storyboard, like you said, King?" And what that does, even though it does set up an unreal expectation, is it gives Xbox fans something that they can sink their teeth into.
Oh my God. What is it with you today with the puns?
And good night. Thank you for showing.
Shut it down. I'm out. I'm gone.
Oh, that was horrible. That was
good. That was
you know
really
what?
good.
That was really bad. I apologize.
It was perfect.
It was unintentional. It was good.
See, yeah, it's like, I mean, I write scripts, but that one I can't. That one.
If you wrote that, I'm gonna be a little
making
sad,
me say that. Yeah. That would be horrible. Sin Vendetta says, "Am I the only person that got Redfall felt kind of Borderlandish with 4-player co-op with different characters with different abilities? Spot on. I hope it's better than Borderlands 3. 1 and 2 are amazing." Yodani says, "Gaz gonna make a sauce video where King David gonna end up in the bushes after a brisk jog." And Infrabraid
videos too.
That's a collaboration in the Horizon.
Yeah. Actually, we were supposed to.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We did have one. All right. Yeah, we do have one.
Two. We have two.
Oh yeah, it's a two.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
We out of control.
The business deal's being made right now. Infrablade says, "I'm pretty sure that this is a new Hunter the Reckoning. It feels like they got this concept from them somewhat." If I remember Hunter, I think I played that one. I wasn't too great on it. And Jonathan Douglas says, "It's been confirmed. It's not like Left 4 Dead." I think Jonathan might be referring to Redfall. I almost wanted to call it Red Omen or a combination of those. So I mean, panel, are you excited about Redfall? I mean, does it sound like something I wasn't excited about vampires, but it's got gunplay, which is super important.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those things where when I heard about this, I assumed it would be a single-player thing. I assumed it would be that kind of Dishonored as a vampire. And for me, I was like, nah. I'm historically not a fan of stealth games. So if that was going to be the case, I'm out. I'm done. But you make it this 80s campy kind of... Have you guys seen the movie Monster Squad?
Yeah.
That is the vibe that I got when I saw this trailer. I was like, okay, they're camping it up. This is a weird teen horror flick turned into a video game where the squad is hunting vampires. And
Yeah.
I started to buy into that idea because I'm a fan of campy 80s horror movies. But when it comes to, the CG versus the gameplay thing, if we look at Microsoft's marketing cadence for this year, they have done an incredible job of pacing themselves and making sure every week, every other week, they are in the headlines for some reason. You have some reason to look at Xbox. You have some reason to look what they're doing. So if this game is coming out summer, I guarantee that we are going to see gameplay probably before the end of this year. Whether that be at the Game Awards or whether that be at a different showcase, gameplay's coming, but this set the tone. And the tone of what they showed was confusing to me as someone who had these expectations of what it was going to be. So again, I'll agree with King here. I need to see gameplay before I fully buy into whatever this is.
There are tactical reasons behind why you don't want to show gameplay too early, though, as well, because you have a sea of pretenders out there, and that's a big reason why you're inclined to show CGI as opposed to a game. Because if it is coming out next summer, that game will naturally be hopefully developed a significant way. But there are ways, if you're a developer, why you'd want to do a CGI trailer, because people will copy you. So don't just think that it's a cop out. There may be reasons behind it. But on the other hand, to play devil's advocate, you better make sure that CGI stuff really does relay what the game is actually about. Because if a third party animation outfit has taken on your manifesto and created something that doesn't actually accurately reflect what your game is about, that has happened before, and that's the risk of doing something like this.
Like Dead Island.
It's my selfishness in saying that. All right. So for all you CGI artists out there, don't come for me. But what I'm saying is that this game was slated to be shown. Am I excited for the game? A little bit. My curiosity is piqued because when I didn't know what it was, and I knew it was as Omen, and it was a vampire themed type game. I thought it was Legacy of Kain, like a lot of my crew, and I hoped for it to be Legacy of Kain. All right, so again, it's not, and I guess therein lies a little bit of disappointment. But again, lending to the multiplayer co-op experience, different type of categories when it comes to you taking someone that's like a bullet mage or a robot. I love the humor in it because they showed you the beginning. They showed you how they got into the ish and what it was about. So they kind of stumbled upon somebody else's fight that they got drawn into this fight. Now they got to fight their way out of it and they got to bite back, which is really crazy. So I think this stuff is nuts. I think it's going to have a level of humor to it that is beautiful in it. So you get that much from the CGI trailer. Again, my disdain for CGI trailers is across the board. All right. But I also understand, like, Gaz says, there's strategic reasons for such things to be done because there are copycats. There are people working on certain games that could be in the same genre and they could steal your ideas. So I honestly get it. With this, you really don't know what the game will look like at the end, but hopefully it looks close to what we've seen.
So, Miles, will this game be first person or third person?
Ooh.
I'm going to assume first person. I don't know, but I'm going to assume it's first person. Based on what we saw here, based on the fact that everyone has guns, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is a first person co-op shooter.
It'd be cool if it's third person.
You guys think this?
What if it's a tactical a shooter like Gears Tactic type of thing?
I just ruined my
god! Oh no!
I say I like stuff like that. Like I'm one of those XCOM nuts. Yes. But could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I can't. I literally can't.
I mean,
I don't want to. I'm with Miles that Arcane Austin has made a bunch of. Just seeing me.
I hope this video goes viral. I hope it comes back here, and I hope when it does come out, it is. And I'll be like, "Hey, David,"
oh man,
and I'm gonna be the only one.
Don't put that energy into the universe.
Oh my gosh. Anton Williams asked King. He said, "How was Battlefield CGI?"
What CGI?
I don't remember what you said, but But they did have a CGI trailer, but they had a gameplay trailer.
Oh no, I saw
at E3.
gameplay. I didn't see any of your CGI stuff that you was talking about, but on my screen it was I saw actual gameplay.
And in that same vein, Alf says, "I'm disappointed that the One More Thing was CGI." Yeah, same thing they did last year. One More Thing was Fable. That was CGI. But these games are out a little ways. Disturbed to Link, APWF says, then watch a CGI trailer. All I take is it from the concept. Graphics come with gameplay. Yeah, so we have to wait. I really hope this is their first game that looks really next level. Like Prey is absolutely... I actually just finished it earlier this year for the first time. It was one I put away when I started it, when it came out. I really, really loved it. It looks great in its own way, but it looks dated when I play it now. So I'm hoping they really bring it. Magic Cast says, it showed enough to get an idea of what Redfall will be. We'll see gameplay in 6 to 9 months. I'm okay with CG in the meantime. Big fan of you all. He's talking about Miles, Gaz, and King David. Keep it up. Heart emoji. And Infrablade says, as long as it's not another freak first-person shooter, I'm good. And then we said, it's a first-person shooter. One more Dirty Old Gamer says, CG now, next E3 gameplay, then the game's release. I want to ask Gaz if he's on his toes and remembers. If Redfall comes out in the summer or almost before fall of 2022, what else comes from that team that comes out on Xbox right afterward?
I have no idea. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Stop quizzing me.
What is it? Let's ask Miles Dompier if he knows what else Arcane is bringing out next year for Xbox right after Redfall comes out.
I'm also blanking. I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry.
I will ask King David, what is the other game that Arcane Austin is coming out with? Yeah, Third Strike, and then we just shut everything down. King David, what is Arcane Austin putting out next year right next to Redfall?
Dishonored 3.
No. Oh my God.
Three
strikes
were out. Listen, at least I guessed something.
At least you guessed. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing Jay Fonzarelli's games quiz show. Yeah. Deathloop. We forget about Deathloop because it's on PlayStation.
Yeah. Wait a second. No.
What?
No. It would be out before then, but no.
Well, when is Deathloop? Isn't Deathloop a 1-year timed exclusive? And we're going to see it this fall on PlayStation.
That already started. They pushed.
Do you think so? Do you think it starts after the release or the deal?
Again,
Twittery Snake is saying Deathloop is from Arcane Lion. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he's right, and of course he's right. And thank you for correcting me. I thought it was.
Yeah, no, he was trying to manipulate the question. Yeah, right. But anyway,
Miles, did I throw you off?
Whenever it comes out on the PlayStation, remember it was a point of contention through the contract of what that was about. So again, I'm not a lawyer, but I honestly believe it'll be a whole lot sooner than a lot of people think. So as soon as it come out on PlayStation, just look right around the corner and bam.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Why does it really doesn't matter. They get to play a game and we get it in Game Pass. Yay.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's gonna be a lot of games coming out in 2022.
Definitely.
We already have a good chunk of games coming out in 2021. We could list them here. I think we would probably all fall over. Thank you everyone for the over 1,400 people that are watching. We got over 1,200 right now. This has been the Xbox Newscast, or as I call it, the XNC Podcast with my good friends, true, respected individuals on social media and YouTube. We've got Miles Dompier from Windows Central. We've got Gaz from Game On Daily and King David from Iron Lords. Miles, tell the audience, we should talk about this at the beginning, but there was so much to talk about. Tell them, everyone, what you've been playing that's captured your heart this week, and where they can find you and follow you and stalk you.
Oh, stalkers! Now we're talking. Now we're getting somewhere. I've been playing a dumb amount of Chivalry 2. Stupid game, ridiculous game, so damn fun. Just endlessly chopping heads off, getting my head chopped off just as much. It's absolute chaos. They make it seem like there's a rhyme or reason, like you can be good at Chivalry 2. You can't. There's 64 people slamming each other in the back of the head. It's just absolute madness, and it's so damn fun. Like, I was surprised by how much I loved Chivalry 2, because I really like Chivalry 1, but my expectations are whatever. They really upped the game. It looks really great on Series X as well. So yeah, that's been a blast. If you want to stalk me, harass me, send me memes, just hit me up on Twitter at Miles Dompier, and that's the best place to get in touch with me.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show. Lord King David, what have you been playing? What has been keeping your thumbs crazy on the controller? Where can people find your beautiful face?
I've been playing Dragon Quest on the Xbox. This game, it has 100 hours plus. It's absolutely insane. But what's even more insane is my son came down, saw it, and he was like, "That's on Game Pass?" I was like, "Yeah." He's 10 years old. He ran upstairs. I hear the game firing upstairs because he's playing on his Series S. And he's trying to catch up to where I'm at in the game. And those little moments, which is totally incredible. But yeah, I'm playing Dragon Quest, something nuts. And I downloaded a couple of other games to get into, and I'm doing carries and outriders and stuff like that. But you can catch me at Iron Lords Podcast Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, DCX on Fridays. There's DCX Open Mic at 9 p.m. So you can know more about what the hell is all these statues that's in the background and why the hell they cost so much. And what is KOS and... That's King of the Statues, and actually Nora Red, which is the Silver Surfer, which is spinning around right there with Nova standing right next to him, is the next KOS that's going up. So you can go to lordsofgaming.net where you can see episodes of KOS. You can also read a lot of articles from our opinion writers and watch a lot of videos of a lot of stuff that's going on in the industry at this moment. It's been such a blast hanging out with you guys. Oh, and you can catch me on Twitter, where I am lopping off a lot of competitors' knees. And you know why I say grease up your knees before you send it to me, because I don't want any ashy knees.
Jergens lotion. Oh, there it is. Fino.
Absolutely not. King David OTW on Twitter, where I am undefeated with the championship belt.
Awesome. I'm going to throw it over to Gaz, the true friend. We talk every day. He's amazing. He is so creative. Gaz, what have you been playing? Where can people find the source of the sauce?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. You are a very close friend, one of my best friends, and you have really helped us out, even with the content creation side. But me and you are like spiritual buddies when it comes to content creation, because we love this stuff. We love content creating. It's in our blood. So yeah, thank you so much for the invite on this incredible show. You can find me at gameondaily.com. It's a platform with heavy development, and it's there live for. I gave you the spiel early on. Do check it out. We've got a lot of stuff coming in. You saw the source video. We've got reams of ideas, or even crazier than the Mission Impossible 2 deep fake that I just did today. So do check that out. Phil, if you're watching this, please, it's all done in jest. Shoot you, cheater. Especially you, Jim Ryan. You don't fare very well at the start of this video. But it's all in jest. Think of it like it's just Hollywood, right? Yeah, you can see us. You can find me on Twitter, Gaz on Daily. Game on Daily, one word, is our YouTube channel. Do check it out. We are growing. And yeah, thank you so much. Love the chat. You have such a great community. It takes a while to weed out all the trolls, but it shows, man.
Oh, they're amazing.
So good.
They're
man.
so amazing.
I was reading their comments. Amazing.
Yeah, having you guys on the show has been super entertaining, and I've been keeping an eye on the chat more and more as I get more comfortable doing the show. Chat's absolutely amazing. Brigadier Blue closed it out. Says, thanks everyone for a great show tonight. I had more than my fair share of laughs. You guys have my face up here is tired from smiling and laughing. My dad bod's got like a 6-pack going on from laughing. So yeah, absolutely great. Follow all these guys. Go check out their latest content. Just keep an eye. They've always got something good to say. I'm Colteastwood. I've been playing Ratchet and Clank on my PS5. I'm going to get through that game. I want to get on the chivalry madness that Miles and Dealer and Zocker and Darge are all playing and loving, so we need to get in on that, back on the Xbox. I like to get on the PlayStation for a couple intervals in the year, and then I'm back on the best, what I think is the best gaming platform. And if you're here, you probably agree. Xbox is making big moves. E3 killed it. They dominated. We didn't even talk about Capcom or Square Enix or anybody else because there's been so much Xbox stuff, and that's such a good thing. Thank you so much. This is XNC Podcast. We're live at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, and we're on podcast platforms on demand. Wave to the camera, everybody. Say goodbye. What a great show. Thank you so much for having me on. Guys, give us the sauce.
Oh,
King David, tell us you're going to take those knees. And Miles, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. We'll see you soon.